Hello everyone, this is Helen H and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. I'm sorry it has been a while since I made a video. I missed you all. I missed making videos, but I was up at the cabin with my best friend and we just kept busy. We had so much fun. She has so much in common with me, what she likes to do. She loves junking, flea markets, all of that. And crafting, and we just have so much fun together. Anyway, it was a wonderful, wonderful time. But now I am back with you guys, and I thought today, because I'm just kind of getting back into making videos, that I would make some clusters with you guys. It's been a long time since I've made some clusters, and I'm making journals, more and more journals, and I wanted to have clusters on hand. I know a lot of you have like boxes of them you can just sort through, and I kind of wanted to do that too. So I'm just going to show you a couple that I've pre-made, and then I'm going to show you like my process for making clusters. Now I've done this before, but if you don't want to go back and look at those, search out those videos, that's fine. I'll show you again. So I'm making a sewing journal. So some of these, like this one right here with this little cardboard with the hook and eye, some of these first three are for my sewing journal that I'm making right now. And this one here, and this is an ad for Gold Eyes. I think this is an ad for needles, but this is a Tim Holtz sticker, and this piece here that looks like a, measure tape is also a sticker. I'm sorry for the glare. I'm actually sitting right under some skylights, but it was just bucketing with rain. I tried to make the video and I had to stop because the noise was deafening, but we need the rain, so I'm not complaining. So this one is not from my sewing journal. This is just a general one, but look at the little thing. It's from Hallmark. It's the back of a Hallmark card, and I just thought that's so cute. I love Hallmark because they're made in the United States and they've been around forever. Now this little cluster here, you can use it this way because of the flowers, the way they are. This is one of those little Tim Holtz things. I think you could use it this way, or you could use it this way. It doesn't make any difference, you know. That one's a little bit bigger, and then this cluster here is actually quite large, you can see. But I was thinking of making this either a pocket or, you know, maybe turning it this way. Again, the flower orientation is so you could do it either way. But if I did it this way, I'd probably make it, you know, like a little tuck spot in a journal or something. But yeah, so I'm making them all different sizes. You know, I don't make my clusters all one size. I make them all different sizes, you know, so that I can use them for different things. So let's just make some clusters. Now what I do, and like I said, this isn't new for some of you, but maybe a refresher course. I tear up different pieces of paper in different sizes because, you know, I want different size clusters. And what I'm using for these back pieces on all of these, because you want one piece, whether it shows or not, to be like the backbone of your cluster. So what I'm using is actually pieces of the back parts of old greeting cards. These are all vintage greeting cards. Look how nicely stained they are and stuff. And I use the fronts for the front images and the inside images for focal points, and I also cut them out and use sell the front pages as in ephemera packs. This is an envelope here. But anyway, so yeah, I love these because if they show, they're kind of yellowed and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm using for these pieces here. Now I just went ahead and for the most part, I tear out all the sides of my clusters. But if I use like a small piece of something and it's too hard to tear, I don't mind having a straight edge here or there. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a small, and let me find a medium, and let's do one of the larger ones. And like I said, this paper underneath can either show or not show. You know, that's completely up to you. And you probably won't even know until you start stacking the papers. So what I usually do is I take my base pieces, Then I've got my envelope of neutral papers, neutral vintage type papers, and I make a couple layers with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tear some papers here. Here's a piece of music paper. Now with music, okay, I do read music, but it's been a long, long time. And unless there's a word on it, sometimes music looks odd and you could put it upside down, which I try not to do. I don't think it's the end of the world. No one's gonna be inspecting your clusters, hopefully that carefully. But so I'm just gonna go ahead and tear this here. And maybe we'll make a big cluster, because this big one here, again, would make a nice tuck spot. So let's go ahead and put the music there. And we're just going to kind of layer up. And I'm just going to be using all these neutral kind of papers that I have. And we'll go from there. Okay, that is somehow, this is, I think I glued these together. I think I must have been using this as a glue piece, because this is actually, this paper's glued together. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, I can use it or not use it, whatever. So I'm just going through here, picking out, you know, whatever. I have no idea on these particular clusters I'm making right now what the focal point's gonna be or anything. So I don't, you know, I just put stuff down, and I guess basically I make the base of the cluster first, and then I decide on the focal point afterwards. Yeah, I don't usually address a cluster from the others, you know, with the focal point first. Okay, here's some book page. This is looks like a what is this? A dictionary or something like that, but it's got that cool fly on it. I kind of like him. Let's see. We don't need to see that background piece, but maybe we could keep the little fly. Put that there. Oh, and here's like a little flower thing, so we could do that. And this one has, let me even that up a little bit. Maybe if we put that one over there, we could put this one. See, I kind of alternate them so you can see all the papers. Like I said, not necessarily the very underneath paper, but anything that you're layering on top, of course you want to see that. You don't want to cover that up, because then what's the point of putting it on, right? So I'm just going through here. This is what you hear. It's not the rain, because I was going to start this, like I said, several times, and the rain just started up again. And sitting under these skylights, it's so loud. Let's see here. What is on that one? Music. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. And this pouch that I'm going through here is mostly neutral type papers. It's not like scrapbook paper really, or things like that. Let's use this piece here. This is kind of cool. This is a piece of ledger paper, but I don't want it too terribly long. See, now this piece has a top on it here, like a straight top. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. So right now, each one has 3 things. It's the base and 2 pieces of paper. So I do kind of like to keep track of that. Now, if a cluster has 5, 6, 4 layers, if the cluster's done in your mind, the cluster's done in your mind. You know, leave it, right? But I don't want to make a cluster that doesn't have enough layering or enough interest. Now, this is a piece of crepe paper, old vintage crepe paper. And I think what I'm going to do is actually put it underneath that fly. Maybe I'll put it under both of those pieces of paper so we can still see them like that. So it is sticking out, you know, just a little bit. And that's the whole point of clusters too, is that you just want bits and bobs sticking out, you know, bits and pieces sticking out. Okay, so this one, maybe I can just go, well, again, it's going to cover up that flower, so I'll put it underneath to add. See, just as you get more and more little elements, you just go with it, right? So this one right here has 3. Let me find one more paper for that one, and then we will add some extra fun stuff, not just another paper layer. The underneath paper is not that important, I don't think, as the... Now here's a cool piece of cardboard here. Let's see here. Can I put that? Well, what if I just cut a... let me just tear a piece. Maybe we can just use a piece of this corrugated cardboard. Let's see, we've got the underneath. We don't necessarily need to see that. We can put that like that. Now that would cover up too much of that, but I could put it underneath the two because then you can see the cardboard. And see, you don't even need to see it on the top. If you want to just have it like showing at the bottom like that, we could do that, like that. Or should it be showing at the top? I'm kind of thinking the top. Let's see. Maybe like that. That's good right there. Okay. All right. I like that. So these three are good like that. Okay. So I'm not going to put any more of the neutral papers on there. So I need to find something else. Now, generally, I will put a layer of lace or fabric or something that mimics lace or fabric. So I've got 2 envelopes with little bits and pieces. Now this here is actually a doily, a paper doily, and I could use that. Let me see, do I have any of those that are already cut in half? No, okay, of course not. Okay, so I have this doily. Where are my scissors? Oh Lord, what happened to my scissors? Oh, here they are. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half because I don't need the whole doily, so I don't wanna waste it. And this is actually a little coffee stained doily. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I made these a long time ago. I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking because they were folded in half like that. So it was this one that we were working on. Oh no, all of them, right? So let's go ahead and put that underneath there like that so it kind of sticks out like that. I like that because we've got like the corrugated cardboard and the pretty doily. It's kind of a, you know, kind of a different thing here. This top is a little bit, I said it doesn't matter if something's straight, but on this cardboard I do want to go ahead and make it a little bit ratty, not so straight across because I have this one straight, so I didn't want 2 straight ones in a row. Okay, so there's that. We've got that there. Now let's find something for this. So we've got the paper doily. On that middle one here, can you see the middle one? I think he might be going off camera. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, well here's a tiny little piece of lace. We could put that on there, maybe like that. Oops, I'm losing my bottom piece. I'll make sure they're all lined up again before I attach them together. And then I have this one little, okay, let's use something else. I have, what is this called? Cheesecloth. This is coffee stained cheesecloth here. So let me just cut a little piece of this one. We'll use this little one for the fly. So anyway, while I'm doing this, my girlfriend and I, you know, we did all kinds of stuff, like I said, but we did do a lot of crafting, and one thing that we did was a lot of gel printing. So I think my next video is going to be showing you the results of what I did, but also to show you some techniques that I found. I'm sorry for the shadow. I noticed this because it, like I said, it's because I'm sitting under a skylight. There's great shadows. I apologize for that. But anyway, so I will show you guys the techniques that I did because I did some techniques I haven't done before, so they were kind of fun. Okay, so I've got these like this. Now, if you are so inclined, you can ink your edges. Now, usually I would have my dauber, like the spongy dauber thing, and my distress ink, but I'm not at home right now, so I am going to use what I have, which is this little, what brand is this? These little eye drop thing, Color Box, these little chalk ink pads, and this is chestnut brown. So I just inked around this, whoops, he's got to go the other way. Well, you know what? Which way does he look better? That way or that way? This way is the way we had him. So I'm going to put him under there, like that. Okay. So, you know, you can ink the edges. You can ink every edge. Some of the clusters I actually do ink every edge of every piece that I put on them to make them really distressed and stuff. But sometimes, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. Maybe I will do a little more distressing on this one. So I'll just tell you a little bit while I'm distressing. one of the things my girlfriend and I did, we went to the little town that is in West Virginia where the grocery store is, and we went to the flea market on Saturday, and oh my gosh, did we have fun. It's not a big flea market, but we got a lot of good stuff, and we got a lot of good stuff cheap. But we also, okay, so there's this older couple. That's my favorite booth. That's the booth I go to first. And literally, I mean, okay, so that's the one where I got that whole box of stuff with the sconce in it and everything, the mouse cutting board and all that stuff. She said, make a box for $1. It's those people. Well, we were talking to them, and they told us, everybody last year, that they were retiring, that they weren't going to be doing it anymore. So I was really shocked when I saw them again this spring there. But they said that everybody was so upset that they weren't there anymore, that the owner gave them a better inside space than they had before, and so they just figured they would do it as long as they could do it. They both have some health problems, but they're well enough right now to do it, because I asked them, well, how long are you going to be there? I know they don't do it the weekend of the Treasure Mountain Festival in Franklin, because there's just too many people, and I think they feel overwhelmed by that. But they said they'll do it as long as their health will allow them to do it. But we got a whole bunch of good stuff from them, and they don't do it for the money, because it was funny. My friend and I were talking about, well, how can you, before we even went, she hadn't even met these people before. I've met them before, but she hadn't. You know, and I was telling them how inexpensive their stuff was and everything. And she's like, well, you know, they must just be doing it to socialize, because you wouldn't make any money, you know, selling the stuff like for what they're selling it for. Now I'm just inking this back piece here because it may stick out, so I want it inked. But anyway, so when we got to talking to them, we went to their booth, we bought a bunch of stuff. Then I wanted to take her to the other booth that I really like, which is the Pendleton area, so it's the animal rescue for Pendleton County. But anyway, and also we wanted to go to eat breakfast at the corner store, which is this cute old little diner place in the town of Franklin. So we had done what the best booths, you know, or the ones that I knew would get the best deals on. And then I was like, okay, we got to go if we're going to eat breakfast, because it was almost coming to 11 o'clock. And I'm glad that we did, because I didn't realize the corner store closes at 12 on a Saturday. So we got there, you know, in time, and we had our breakfast and everything. And then we decided to go back to the flea market. Well, this older couple had put out some more stuff since we had left, and so we even ended up going back to get some more stuff from them. But we were talking to them the second time, you know, and whatever. And the guy said, yeah, he said, we're making just a tiny little bit of money. Well, I mean, we didn't ask, like, are you making money or anything? He volunteered this information. I don't know, you know, what we had said to bring it about. But anyway, he said that they make just a tiny little bit of money, but they really do it for the socialization. And I'm so glad, because older people need to have socialization. You know, that they can die, people die, I mean, whether you're older or not, from lack of some socialization. I mean, I understand if people are more introverts and they need more time alone, but you can't be alone. Like, you know, older people sometimes get forgotten and whatever. Okay, so now I've got the bases of the clusters the way I want them, and I'm only going to really probably add focal points on these at this time. But I'm going to go ahead and staple them, and I don't I don't usually, I don't know what the other word I'm looking for. I don't usually, generally, that's the word. I don't generally staple into the middle of the focal point because, why is my thing not working? I just put new staples in it. Let's see here. Okay, did I already use the staples? Well, I just put a whole bunch in. Okay, hold on a second. we'll stop. I got this right here. I've got my staples here. I don't generally staple through the top image, like the focal point, just because I don't like to pierce things that shouldn't be pierced, like someone's head or, you know, a butterfly wing or something. I don't. So what I do, and you see it with the ones that I showed you, that the last piece, I actually glue it on top. Like I staple the cluster together, and now this one, because it's got, you know, so many, I might even do a crisscross with the staples. They won't show. And then also what I do is I like give a little tug to all the pieces to make sure that I have gotten through all of them. Or you could do like 2 little staples, one and then one again, because it's not going to show with a focal point. So, and then give it a little tug. Okay, so there we go. There's some of those. And now for the focal points, okay, I have different things that I use. I have this little bag. This is my little travel bag here. And see, these strips right here are all like, that's the Hallmark. This is Art Guild of Williamsburg. This is Charm Craft Greetings. These are all the bottoms of the backs of these pages from the cards. If it's a cute little thing that's on the bottom, like who made the card, I just tore off the strips and I used them, and that's where I got that Hallmark from. But, so I used that. I've got a lot of these Tim Holtz. These are the little chip or cardboard things. I don't know what they're called, but anything that I find that's like what I think cluster worthy, you know, it's not something I'd really use for something else, but it would be great on a cluster. I have that little baggie here. And then I also wanted to show you, let's go ahead and put, we'll put something on here. Let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and do this little fly. Let's see if we can't find something to put him on, to put on his. And I'm just sorting through these little things. And you want to keep, you know, you want to keep your size relevant. You know, you don't want to have a big honking thing like this on top of a tiny cluster like that. It's covering up too much of your layers. What's this little? No, that's even too big. He's going to be a little tricky because he is small, but we'll do something. We'll find something for him, no doubt. And if not, if worst comes to worst, you can always make something. Now we do have that flower. That's kind of cute. This little, this is a Tim Holtz flower here. We've got that. I don't want to use a person because I don't want like this giant fly next to a little picture of a person. Or let's see, I've got, this is a little card that's a program from a concert. No, I think I like the flower actually. I think I like the flower like this. So this one I'm going to go ahead and glue on. And since I'm using it's not chipboard, it's just cardstock, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and use the heavier glue. Plus, if you're going to be gluing onto, say, fabric, the last layer down, like this is fabric or lace, I would probably use the stronger glue also. So I'm going to do like this and offset that a little bit just so you can see the fly, but I'm still covering up the staple. You can't see the staple. You know, that's not the end of the world, but like I said, for me, I don't like necessarily to have that show. I just put too much glue on there. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's one right there. And this is a kind of fun project when you're kind of low on your mojo or something. Or you just want to get all your bits and bobs out, because this is a project that you'll be like, oh, I'm going to go get this and I'm going to go get that. Now these are stickers here. They are mail type stickers that I could use, but I wanted to show you something before I do that, you know, maybe do that. Let me see what else I've got here. These are all sewing things here. This is the Tim Holtz. Which one is this? 370, they usually, oh, this is called Crowded Attic. This is Tim Holtz's Crowded Attic. And it's just letters like alphas. Oh, and then you got these cool things here. Oh, let's maybe go with one of these. This is cool. It's like I guess this is either from a post box. Sorry, I have to hold this so you can see without the glare. It's either like from a, come on, no glare. Ugh. From a post box or a house number or something. So that's really cool. And these are nice heavy stickers. So yeah, I like that on there. But again, because I'm going to be sticking it onto the right onto the lace here, I'm not going to trust the sticky on the back. And I wouldn't probably trust the sticky even if I was sticking it to paper. I just would go ahead and put it on. So that's kind of cool. This one right here, like this. Now, I don't have any with me here, but let me see here. I could put something else. Like I've got this little gold bird. He doesn't really show up that well. I could find something else tiny little to embellish this with, even if you had rhinestones or something like that. I don't have any gems here. I'm thinking maybe gems would be fun. And, oh, well, let's see. What about this here? I have this. That's not straight. It went cattywampus on me. It went cattywampus on me. Is that's not straight either. Okay. More like that. Okay, there we go. I have this little thing that I made. It's an arrow. It's a little ticket with an arrow. I could stick that down there. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it for now because here's the thing. If I want to embellish this more, I would probably wait to see how I'm going to use it. Right now, I just want to build a stash of things with like just general clusters that can be used, but then embellished more, because I could always take one of the little Tim Holtz stickers or any kind of sentiment stickers and put it on there if it's going to add to the journal page that I'm making. So I'm not going to generalize them. I mean, I'm going to leave them generalized. I'm not going to make them too fussy that I'm stuck, you know, I'd have to make a journal just on that one thing or it wouldn't make any sense. Now, here's another thing you can do. We all have these field guides, you know, to birds or flowers or whatever, these field guides. But this paper, look, the whippoorwill. I love the whippoorwill. There's the common whippoorwill right there. The paper on these is not so thick. So what you can do, and what I did here, this is a page with some sparrows on it. I just glued it to another piece of paper, and in this case I just used, for no reason except I had it, the backs of those cards, just to give it a little more substance. So then what I can do is, this is kind of a big cluster, so let's go ahead and cut out the chipping sparrow, which my girlfriend and I, we did some birding. She knows a lot more about birds than I do, but there are birds up here that she didn't even know what they were, like the sound and stuff. But she's got a cool app, if any of you are into birding. It's called Merlin, and you can just open it up and hold it up, and it will tell you what bird you're listening to, like what bird is singing. So we did that, and we actually went to a bird sanctuary. I think I've talked about this before. It's an old house and barn and all the acreage that went with it. That woman who loved birds, when she passed away, her husband donated the house, the whole property, to the Virginia Ornithological Society. And so you can go to this property. They upkeep the property nicely, and they keep the trails cut and everything. And they have, it's called Bramble Hill, and they have an area of their whole front and side of the yard is brambles. So you'll see different kinds of birds in the brambles. And then they have a wooded area, and then they have a field area. And all of these areas you know, you should be finding, like, you could be finding different kinds of birds. But it was so funny because we were walking on the wooded area, and we could hear this crow and a raven, and they were just like making all these ugly sounds and whatever. They don't have beautiful songs to begin with. But anyway, so we're walking up into the woods, and we were also seeing some vultures. So we figured there must be something dead up in the woods. Okay, now see how, I don't know if you can tell, you can't tell, but see how he's thicker now just by gluing him to that one piece of paper and then cutting him out, okay? So then it can be like this, okay? I think I'll ink him up while I finish telling you this story. But anyway, so we're walking up into the woods and we're getting closer and closer to these. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we don't even know how many of these big birds. There was crows, buzzards, ravens, just started like flying up out of the woods. It scared us to death because like, oh my gosh, you know, where are they coming from? And then we thought, okay, they've all flown away. So we get a little bit closer and more come out of just like out of the brush and stuff. And they were like buzzing like close to our head. They weren't even that far away. Well, then we walked up a little bit further and we could see where they had come from, and there was a dead deer there. So they were all eating their lunch. So that's what that was all about. But it was like, oh my gosh. But we had a good time. And yes, so the sparrows, what was that? The chipping sparrow. So she used her little Merlin app here at the cabin and identified the eastern wooded pewee, which is what I really wanted to know what that was because I hear him all the time and I love his little song. And then we have the chipping sparrow, which this is a chipping sparrow right here. We have yellow finches. And this morning, so she had to go home, but this morning, I'm sitting at the table looking. I have all the doors open always to we don't have to put the air conditioner on. It's cool enough up here with all the breeze going through. And so I had the doors open and I could see out the front door and I can see my vegetable garden. You know, I've done videos on that vegetable garden where the tomatoes are. Now somewhere, remember when I cut him out, I had cut out chipping sparrow and I've lost that little piece. I don't know where it went. I'll have to find it because I was actually going to like put it up here or something. If I find it, I will put it back on there. It's not the end of the world if I don't. But anyway, so I'm looking out at the tomatoes, and there on top of my tomatoes in all his glory was a beautiful goldfinch. And he's still gold this late in the summer. My friend said, no, they usually fade as the summer goes on. But no, he was beautiful. He still was nice and gold. And he sat there long enough for me to take a picture of him. So, okay, so there's my clusters. I've made 3 clusters and then the ones I showed you. Now, like I said, you can always put on like some other bling or sentiments or whatever, you know, pertains to where you're actually going to use them. I want to get like a wooden box or something and just have a whole bunch of little clusters ready to decorate pages and projects. And or like I said, if you make them bigger, you can use them as tuck spots or even pockets depending on how big you make them. So they're super fun and everything. And like I said, so don't forget, if you want to use pictures, even from a magazine, just put them on another piece of paper. Now, I'll leave these guys on this one. I'm not going to cut them all apart because then I'll have like all these little birds falling all over the place. But the next time I want to make a bird one, I probably this afternoon, I might use all of these, you know, make them 5 more different clusters and use all of them. But if not, then at least they'll be on one sheet instead of having, and then I'll put that in my bag with my focal points, rather than having just loose birds that could, you know, their beaks could break off or their feet could break or, you know, whatever. Anyway, I missed you guys and I'm sorry that I didn't make a video, but if you're a guest of mine at the cabin, you're going to do what you want to do. You know, you're going to see what you want to see. I'll make sure that we spend a lot of time together. We just had a blast. I can't even tell you everything we did because we did so much stuff. But anyway, so here's a fun little bunch of clusters I've started to make for my collection, so that when I make journals, I can just, have something to pull from. Again, a low mojo kind of craft to do if you don't have a lot of time. If you have a space where you can leave mess out on your desk, you can start a bunch and then come back and make some more, whatever, or you can just sit down and pull out a whole bunch of stuff and just mass make a whole bunch at one time, which is what I'm planning on doing today. And then, like I said, the next video that I have for you, I'm going to be showing you some stuff that we did using the jelly plate. So guys, I hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, I hope you all are truly blessed. Bye-bye.